In this video, we explore the transformation of Lord Stirling's appearance to better suit the evolving narrative. Originally depicted with short, straight black hair, Lord Stirling now has brown chestnut, long and wavy hair. This change not only adds depth to his character, but also symbolizes a new chapter in his journey. Watch as we delve into the reasons behind this makeover and how it enhances the storytelling experience. The soft light of dawn filtered through the lace curtains of Princess Amara's chambers, casting delicate shadows on the satin sheets. She lay in bed, replaying the events of the previous night. The royal ball had been a whirlwind of introductions, glances, and whispers. But it was the dance with Lord Alexander Stirling that dominated her thoughts, a mix of excitement and apprehension. She knew Lord Stirling would be there, and the prospect of seeing him again both thrilled and unnerved her. A knock on the door interrupted her reverie. Her maid, Cecilia, entered, carrying a tray of breakfast. "Good morning, Your Highness," Cecilia said, curtsying. "Lady Eleanor has invited you to a brunch in the gardens." Amara nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. She knew Lord Stirling would be there, and the prospect of seeing him again both thrilled and unnerved her. "Thank you, Cecilia. Please prepare a suitable dress for the occasion." By mid-morning, Amara found herself among the blooming roses and topiaries of Ashford Manor's gardens. The brunch was a lavish affair, with tables laden with pastries, fruits, and delicate china teacups. The air was filled with the scent of fresh flowers and the sound of polite conversation. As expected, Lord Alexander Stirling was there, surrounded by a group of ladies vying for his attention. Amara tried to avoid his gaze, engaging in conversation with Lady Eleanor and other guests, but she could feel his eyes on her, a persistent and unyielding presence. "Princess Amara," came his familiar voice, smooth and insistent. She turned to find him standing before her, his expression a mix of curiosity and determination. "Would you care for a stroll?" Before she could respond, Lady Eleanor interjected with a smile. "What a wonderful idea, Lord Stirling. A stroll in the garden sounds delightful." Amara had no choice but to acquiesce. "Very well," she said, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. She took his offered arm, and they began to walk along the garden path, away from the prying eyes of the other guests. For a few moments, they walked in silence, the tension between them palpable. Finally, Alexander spoke. "I must apologize if I seemed overly persistent last night, Princess. I find myself fascinated by you." Amara glanced at him, her gaze guarded. "Fascinated, Lord Stirling. I am not some curiosity to be examined." "No, of course not," he replied quickly. "What I mean is, you have a strength and grace that I have rarely encountered, and I am genuinely interested in learning more about you and your culture." This caught her off guard. "You wish to learn about Barbados?" she asked, skepticism lacing her tone. "Indeed," he said. "Tell me, what was it like growing up there?" Amara considered his question, her defences slowly lowering. "Barbados is a place of vibrant colours and rhythms," she began. "The people are warm and resilient, with a rich history and traditions that are deeply rooted in our heritage. We celebrate life with music, dance, and festivals that bring the entire community together." Alexander listened intently, his eyes never leaving her face. "It sounds beautiful," he said softly. "And what about you, Princess? What are your passions?" Amara felt a spark of connection as she spoke of her love for the arts, her dedication to her people, and her desire to bridge the gap between her world and the one she now found herself in. Alexander's interest seemed genuine, his questions thoughtful and sincere. As they rounded a corner, coming to a secluded spot in the garden, Amara realized just how close they had become. The spark she had felt during their dance was back, stronger than ever. Panic rose within her, and she stepped away, breaking the spell. "Thank you for the walk, Lord Stirling," she said abruptly. "But I must return to the brunch." Before he could respond, she turned and hurried back toward the other guests, her heart pounding. She needed distance, needed to understand these feelings before they overwhelmed her. Alexander watched her go, a determined look in his eyes. The more he learned about Amara, the more captivated he became. He was not one to give up easily, and he knew that winning her trust and affection would be a challenge worth pursuing. As Amara rejoined the brunch, she couldn't shake the feeling that her life was about to change in ways she had never imagined. And for the first time in a long while, she found herself both terrified and exhilarated by the possibilities.